Blog Talk Radio.
Greetings. Hello.
Hello, Valerie. Can I hear you? Hello, Valerie. Can I hear you? Hello, Valerie.
We both should be online here. Are we both online? Hello? Brenda. Okay. What I'm going to do, Brenda, I'm going to try something else here. What we're going to do, what I'm going to do is this. I don't know what's going on with this, but I'm going to try and give you a call back and call you and see if that doesn't work. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes, you're going to call me back. Yes, if worse comes to worse, I can set it up real quick on my end and give you a number, and we can do it another way too.
Well, right now I show that it said you dropped, but however, I'm just hearing you okay, and you're hearing me. We probably may be broadcasting now.
We are now.
And
yes.
so, okay, we are now. I think it's got straightened out. There was some kind of glitch there with them. But anyway, I was just telling our listenership that, we're so glad to have you on today because, you've been a registered nurse for 35 years and you've seen a lot. And you and I share the same interest with this pulse, PEMF. And I want to get right into it because we only have, like a half an hour today. Now it's 25 minutes. So I just wanted to let people know that this therapy is something that was developed to aid the NASA program, and it mimics the Earth's resonance, just as an overview of what we're going to be discussing. But you're the expert here, and I just wanted to go ahead and turn it over to you and go ahead and tell us a lot about what's going on here because, we're all Wi-Fi at this point, and we want to talk about that and the resolutions to what we have. So you're on. Go ahead, Brandon, and tell us what we need to know.
Okay. Valerie, hi. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for taking this time out of your very busy schedules. I know all of us have so much that's vying for our attention these days, and I kind of stumbled into something a few years back when I was hosting or co-hosting with a friend of mine the breast show in town here up in Canada, and my business partner, really had gotten into thermography through her own experiences of trying to diagnose without radiation and pain her own health challenges. And she found that breast cancer in particular, but no less specific to all cancers, and now even expand that farther to many inflammatory processes that are happening in our body can be prevented. And, and so it opened up this whole world for me from being a licensed nurse for, all these years to understanding that there's more to our health and wellness and vitality than what meets the eye, what's written on the prescription pad, and what we have to experience in our life as being part of the natural aging process. There's nothing natural about all this breakdown that's happening in our bodies much, much sooner than anybody anticipates. And even the quality of life, in these days, Valerie, where there's so much technology afoot and available, why are we sicker now than ever before? And we know now, many of us here are enlightened and realize that it can be, from the food that we eat, the genetic modified organisms and the phosphates that are have been added through.
Really bad. What they're feeding us, what they're putting in our food is a disgrace. You have to practically read labels endlessly to know what you're eating. And I always buy organic as much as possible. But anyway, that's only part of it. What's wrong. But yeah, I agree. We're being attacked from all kinds of challenges here, and your astute observations as a nurse. You have an in-depth view. So go ahead, tell us more.
Well, in healthcare, in the traditional sense of what we perceive as healthcare here in North America, and is you have 7 minutes to go to your doctor, lay out all the cards, like one issue at a time only, but there's always all these other parts to it. And if a person, especially up here in socialized Medicare, which we have here in Canada, 7 minutes, one problem. And if a doctor spends more time with you than 7 minutes and actually bills for it, they are charged with Medicare fraud because they're actually billing for more time with you than what is allowed. So even specifically, if you have it's scary. It's scary times. And I don't know anybody who can explain everything in 7 minutes or less and get a diagnosis, get a prescription, and out the door you go.
You have to be your own
doctor.
Because
when we
you have to be your own best doctor,
You do. And, and for many, many people, unless they have somebody who can advocate for them, they are getting swept into the system. And here in Canada, we're looking for a national drug plan. So that means that, yes, then you have the right to, go and get your medicines and, and be part of that system. But really, honestly, before you go to a doctor, before you sign up and take the prescriptions, you need to understand the basic premise of what could be, should be, and would be the problem that's going on. So, yes, A, diet, eat organic, get away from all these genetic modified organisms. B, drink pure filtered alkalinized water. Alkalinized, not chlorinated, not fluoridated, but alkalinized.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of negatives to fluoride itself, as when they put it in toothpaste, they put it in water, but it's actually it's a byproduct of aluminum, and actually aluminum they've been very linked to Alzheimer's as well, and we should throw all of the aluminum foil away. You know, I've been reading a lot about that. I mean, there's another form of pollutant, but also, you're so interesting. You have so many. You're really the ultimate PEMF consultant. Now, explain a little bit to the people what exactly it is. So just for there may be some people here that most of our people are maybe sophisticated, some aren't. Go ahead and explain what that is to the listeners. What is that?
Okay, absolutely, Valerie. So, so there's many things afoot, but one of the biggest things that's afoot is the inflammatory processes within our body. And with that inflammation, there's blood clotting and cell clumping that goes on, which causes the blood to not proliferate into the smallest of the vessels and nourish our tissues in a proper manner. And with that is sticky blood. There's dark field microscopy video out there that can show you what's going on and why is that happening. So that causes inflammation, causes cell death, causes a lack of nutrition to our cells, causes pain and necrotic processes happening in our body, and that can happen in all of our 70 trillion cells in our body, give or take a billion or so, depending on your body size.
Brenda, do you believe that most diseases the underlying cause is inflammation, and like you're saying, alkalized, that's so important because cancer cells can't live in an oxygenated, alkalized environment. Is that true from a nurse's perspective?
Well, not from many nurses' perspective because, we're tied to the job, we're tied to the prescription, we're tied to the whole system. But it isn't until we experience our own health challenges, and I have to tell you there are many, many health-oriented professionals out there, nurses, one of them, but there are many sick professionals within the profession who are doing the consciousness of our mass media, our mass-perceived lifestyle, fast food, irregular work hours and everything else. So with nurses in particular and doctors who, and all allied health professionals who, tirelessly commit themselves to the profession of helping people, we're not very helpful to ourselves. We live in a very stress-filled, we know if we're not following our circadian rhythms and getting proper sleep and nutrition and hydration, we will fall sick, just as sick as the people that we're taking care of. And so it wasn't until I had my own breakdown and, like I said, learning about the alternatives and really delving into this that, this registered nurse is.
Brenda, what kind of a breakdown? You could just share a little bit what happened.
Well, with myself, I experienced type 2 diabetes and was going through the conventional medicine world. I was gestational diabetic with my twins first time around and, didn't really think there was a problem. And fast forward, there was a problem. What the doctor during the pregnancy had said to me was that, your sugars are a little bit elevated at, 26 weeks. Your body is under a lot of stress, and once you have your babies, everything will settle down. He never followed me again. I got pregnant again, had bigger baby, ignored everything, had another pregnancy several years later, bigger baby, a lot, toxemia was setting in, and I wasn't even caught for diabetes at that point. Never even thought about it any further.
Oh, I know. It's unbelievable.
It is. It is. So
but
when
you're not
the
only one that's experienced. It's just the things that are shocking. The best thing to do is stay out of hospitals, first of all. If you can do that, you got to run a chance. But, yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, go ahead.
Yeah, so the ravages of going, finally being diagnosed with blood sugar here in Canada. What would have been equivalent to 240 in the U.S. scale, but 24 point something was my, when 6 to 8 is, or 4.9 to 6.1 is the normal range here in Canada in our metric system of blood evaluation, and I was 24. Mm-hmm. So, and I explained why I was having headaches. I was tired. I wasn't feeling good.
Right.
And, and I was eating the standard American diet, deep fried this and desserts and sugar and bread and all that sort of thing, and wondering why I wasn't, I thought I was doing everything right, but I was definitely doing everything wrong. It isn't until you have some kind of challenge that you either give into the system and become part of it, or you rebel and you start to look at it. And so rebellion is my nature.
I think Freud said it's like creative illnesses. It sounds ironic, but yeah, sometimes when we are challenged with something, it's because we're gonna get better because of it, and we have to go through the bumpy road of getting there. But so many people don't have the like our technology, being in a biofeedback and stress management therapist for years, I've been on the cutting edge of technologies. They fascinate me. But, what we have here today is it takes about 30 years to trickle down to the masses. Any kind of breakthroughs are really great products like we're going to be talking about today. And it's unfortunate because this is why we've got to get the word out. And it's really a re-education program of individuals who aren't aware of these technologies out there, and this program, is that you have with the PEMF therapy. You're a therapist in this realm, and how does this tie in? This is just as an aside here a little bit. How does this tie in with Nikola Tesla? Can you just tie that in a little bit, but with Nikola Tesla and how it works with what we're going to be discussing today with the, I guess the Omnium one. Yeah, the Omnium one. I want to talk a little bit. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, the Omnium One by Swiss Bionic Solutions is one of the cutting edge today technologies that's out there. Anybody who watches Dr. Oz will be aware that Dr. Oz actually did an episode on PEMF, which is pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, and believes that this is the cutting edge of medicine today by using electromagnetic sources in a pulsed manner. In there is really key to improving health, improving circulation, reducing pain, and a lot of the inflammatory processes that are going on. PEMF therapy has actually been known to accelerate the healing process of fractures as well. So, where we usually stabilize and allow the body to do its own thing by pulsing electromagnetic fields into the body, it aligns the tissues in such a way that it encourages the acceleration of healing, no matter what it is, because really when it comes down to it, the gist of what we've been preambling to is that all health is cell health. And there are many disruptors and interrupters in this world today that are interfering with our ability to actually regenerate our cells in a natural healing ability, which is our birthright. Because with the electromagnetic fields and everything that's interrupting, it's causing disruptive cell healing and cell growth. So tying in with Nikola Tesla, in his ultimate wisdom way back, in the later 1800s, early 1900s, along with people like Royal Raymond Rife and the Rife machine, and had the technologies in place to break down cell death and necrosis and disease processes. And and have had technologies that were actually stifled. And Nikola Tesla is also one of these people, great minds, who was stifled, and ultimately his technology was lost for a long time, but really over the last 20 years or so has come back into vogue. And the electromagnetic fields of what he I know years ago there was a movement to create an energy generating system based on Tesla technology, which was giving away these free generators in a way in order to get governments to recognize this, and it was squashed. I know my husband and I invested in that as well and got squashed by that.
Isn't it? I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I know. But there's certain things they can't touch. But this this has been around a while. The pulse, the magnetic field therapy, and I recall years ago. I think it was used mattresses and so on. But it's been probably improved a great deal over the years. It was developed by NASA, which we know they put out a lot of things that are beneficial in our society, which is great. Now let me ask you this. When we can correct the at a cellular level, helping to these chronic diseases like inflammation, or even cancer. When these treatments are used, it helps our cells get better. So it gets you at a very basic level. Any disease that's in any of the cells is going to be helped if you go ahead and quiet this down with. Is this based on the Schumann? Is this based on the Schumann resonance, the 7.9? I think it is, or something.
Yeah. The Schumann resonance was found. There have been some great minds that found that the Earth's frequency, the Earth puts out a magnetic field. And so this knowledge isn't new either. We understand that there's an electromagnetic field, and and that also is the magnetics creates the poles or the polarization of the Earth as well.
Right.
And there's a reason for that, and the reason is that polarization works with gravity, works with again Einstein and the great minds out there, and we can talk for hours and hours, and unfortunately we don't have the time today, but. There is this Earth's resonance, which is actually becoming blocked because of technology out there today as well. So with the with the electromagnetic fields that are being produced in an erratic process in order to create the technology that creates the communication and the seamlessness, which is also part of a globalization agenda 21, and the globalization and all this other stuff. These are not conspiracies. These are all truths, and this is what the people have to know.
They're all true.
Yeah, that there is something afoot here today. So the electromagnetic fields are being reduced for a lot of people, especially those that are living in cities, in the concrete cities, where they're not getting they're on concrete a lot. They're on up in the air in skyscrapers and things like that. They're breaking their natural resonance with the Earth's frequency. And NASA actually saw that they had to develop this technology because when they were starting to shoot animals into space and man into space in the early days of the Apollo program, people were coming back and they were very sick. They were something called rapid aging syndrome, arthritis, heart disease, all kinds of diseases that they would not have otherwise suspected or expected to suffer or die from were occurring. And so NASA had to develop a replication of the Earth's frequency into space in order to shoot man into space and to develop their Skylab programs and space stations as well. So what they had to do was there was this work in the early 60s, late 50s that determined the Earth's frequency, and Schumann was the gentleman who determined that the Earth resonance was 7.85 or whatever it is, 7.9 hertz.
Yeah, right.
And 7.9 hertz is actually a very low sound frequency that humans can't hear. But other organisms and animals and have the ability to hear this. So that's why, lots of times dogs will hear a dog whistle, but you can't hear it. There's these frequencies. We are these amazing sound machines that we can't hear. So the Schumann resonance.
You have to look to nature.
Yes, exactly. Nature has no biases.
That's right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So with the Schumann resonance, the fact is that if we don't walk on ground with our feet on the earth, our rubber-soled shoes are breaking that frequency. Our polyester world is breaking that frequency. And now with technology and the 4G, 5G, infrastructure that is in place and being developed around us, it's interrupting with our natural resonance of our humanity, and people are breaking down. We're being like a microwave oven, where you turn it on and leave the door open and leave it running 24/7. We are being cooked from the inside out. And what that does is create inflammation. It causes cell death. It causes interruptions in our circulatory system, and therefore it's causing all kinds of havoc. But what's really scary right now is that this infrastructure, the 5G, the way they're rolling it out, basically is creating an interruption in our last sanctuary of privacy, which is our own homes, and can send and receive information. The way they have it is almost like weaponizing the frequency instead of putting it through the ground and running it through our cable systems and things like that. So our Wi-Fi'd world or Wi-Fried world is hurting us and harming us more than anything else in humanity at this time. And the lack of research, or the research that is credible, is not being recognized for what it's doing. So even though technology can help us with MRIs and all the diagnostics, it is hurting us. And all you have to do is think about a mammogram. The 47 pounds.
Forget it. I never exposed myself to that. I don't do this for years. I wanted to just say this. We only have 3 minutes and 56 left. Tell us more about, first of all, we need to focus and get, how can people get in touch with you? What's the best way regarding that? And just mention, we're going to be talking next time for an hour, so we'll get more information. But today, give the information for people to get in touch with you. Go ahead.
Yes, please visit the Facebook group. So facebook.com/groups/PEMF consultant, and you'll get a lot of research on what's going on in our world, a lot of credible scientific information. There's a 5G summit out right now, which I encourage people to connect to. Get credible information. Find out what's going on in our Wi-Fi world, and find out about the PEMF solution. This has just been a tease call. Get more information, visit that group, and I am actually thrilled to be partnering here with Valerie. We're going to be doing more extensive talks on this, and in a nutshell, stay tuned for more, people. You got to get the information if you want to survive this Wi-Fi world.
That's right. Now, also, we're going to be talking more about the Omnium One technology. Of course, people can go to your site and get on that Facebook thing. I'm going to be on it, and also we put a link up here. This is becomes a podcast at Radio Time Productions here at Blog Talk Radio, so you can come back and get it at any point. And I will have it on my website at radiotimeproductions.com with more information there about Brenda and what she does and things that she's doing. And we're going to be doing a collaboration because we're on the same page about so many things, that you're into, I've been into, and having someone like you, here as part of our group that we're going to be going forward with at Radio Time Productions. I'm very honored to have you on regularly talking about different things, because there's so much information you have, that we have to have you on next time for an hour. We're going to do an hour, and we're going to. We got 90 seconds left, Brenda. Thank you so much for being on today. And do you have a phone number you want to leave for somebody that may be listening, or anything else? So just get onto the. Go ahead.
Yeah, reach out 1-519-842-2799. That's my personal landline, and call and reach out, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yes. How is it in beautiful Canada? What part of Canada are you calling from?
Southwestern Ontario. I'm right down in the midst of the Great Lakes.
Oh, that's so beautiful there. I love that. I've got to come up and visit you. I definitely want to. And you can come visit me in South Florida. We'll do it straight up. Oh, I enjoyed speaking with you today. Look forward to speaking with you next week. And we have to say bye-bye to listeners, and you know how to get in touch with both of us. And thank you so much. Stay tuned, because there's going to be a series on this. This woman is a wealth of knowledge and wisdom. So we've got to get more, chats with her. All right. Have a blessed day, everybody. Thanks for being here today. Bye now.
Thanks, Valerie.
Thanks, Ben. Don't forget to come to blogtalkradio.com/Radiotime Productions for this podcast. Like me there. Sign up. Stay tuned. Thanks, everybody. Bye.